we're here with Dan Roche, who is at Yankee Stadium getting ready for Red Sox versus Yankees here in the Wild Card Series in 2025. Dan, this is exciting times. The Red Sox are back in the postseason for the first time in 4 years, and they're going to be taking on their arch rival. How excited are you to watch this series?
I think it's just another chapter, right? And that's the cool part of having covered so many of these games. I go back to the late 90s and just how much fun it was. And then what happened in early 2000, 2003, 2004, we know just how special it was. And now here we go again. I think everybody talks about they had that one game wild card playoff at Fenway Park a few years ago, just how electric the atmosphere was. I think everybody's craving this, and I think it's going to be interesting. They're all here at Yankee Stadium. What kind of crowd shows up? How rowdy are they? How into it are they? And how can the Red Sox stop it? That's going to be the fun part here, Joe. But there's so much history when you walk into Yankee Stadium. It just feels cool. So here we go. Let's have a best-of-3 matchup, and may the winner move on.
And this is an interesting matchup too, Dan, because both teams have some strengths. The Yankees, they had the better record at 94 and 68. They finished 5 games ahead of the Red Sox at 89 and 73. However, the Red Sox had the season series edge at 9 wins. They had 9 wins. The Yankees had 4 wins. So when you look at just the series itself, who do you see as the favorite going into this?
Well, I think you have to favor the Yankees because they're here at home, right? And I think the pitching sets up. New York was able to set up its pitching staff, much like the Red Sox. But when you've got a guy like Max Fried and Carlos Rodon coming out of the chute for you, that's a pretty tough tandem. The Red Sox, on the other hand, they have one of the best, arguably the best, along with Tariq Skubal from the Detroit Tigers in the business, both Cy Young Award deserving. And Crochet has been everything that Red Sox fans could have wanted. Everything the Sox could have wanted. So he gets a chance to shine in the postseason, which would be cool to watch. So I think it's a kind of a toss-up. But I also think, Joe, that I think pitching's going to dominate here. And who knows, we'll have 12, 11 games, right, if I say that. But I think pitching will dominate from the sense of if the Red Sox can keep the Yankees and keep the ball in the ballpark, I think they have a good chance. The Yankees, when they start swinging hard, pressing a little bit, and not hitting home runs, they're just a different team. They thrive on being the thumpers, like going back for years and years and years for Ruth, Mantle, Maris, all the way through. They thrive on that. Reggie Jackson, and now it's Judge and company. So if they can keep the ball in the ballpark, Joe, Red Sox pitchers, and it's tough with this right field porch here, it's an easy poke. But I think the Red Sox have a chance if they can do that.
And I want to bring up a stat that you actually had some interest in. So I looked it up, and here's what the Yankees' record is when they have 0 home runs in a game. They're 15 and 22. When they have 1 home run in a game, they're 26 and 24. And then when they hit 2 or more, they're 53 and 22. So they're a team that obviously is explosive offensively. They lead the sport in home runs. And the Red Sox, to their credit, they've only allowed there are 2 or more home runs against the Yankees in 4 games out of the 13 that they've played, and the Yankees went 2-2 in those games. So that's obviously a key part of it. Garrett Crochet gets the start here in Game 1, Dan. How critical is it for the Red Sox to win this game so that they can get the advantage in the series, but also make sure they actually take advantage of their ace on the mound too?
Well, I think everybody, sees it. Everybody says it. That, that Game 1, especially in a best-of-3 matchup, is everything. So if the Red Sox can find a way, if they get a good 5, 6, 7 innings from Crochet, keep the Yankees at bay, and then finish it off with their bullpen, they'd be in great shape. And I think Alex Cora kind of harped on that, too, saying, listen, we can't look at it as like we're going into Yankee Stadium to try to knock off the mighty Yankees. They're going into Yankee Stadium to win a best-of-3 series. And I think they've been really good at that all season long, Joe. You know that. They've been good at just winning series and battling for series. So, yes, I think that Game 1 is very, very important. It would set them up. Then they got to win 1 out of 2, and who knows what can happen in that situation with Giolito or Bayo. They're both like they could steal a game for you. But that one game, if they get down 0-1 and they're staring that deficit in the face, there's a lot of pressure. I think it makes it a lot more difficult. But I think to give themselves a really, really good chance of winning this series, I think they take Game 1 with Crochet and company and then see what happens in those next 2.
I got a couple more questions for you, Dan. How much do you think recent history...
I'm going to wipe my brow. Okay.
How much do you think recent history actually matters in this series? Because the Red Sox, obviously a tortured history prior to 2004, but they've won the last 3 matchups against the Yankees in the postseason 04, 2018, and of course the wild card game in 2021?
You know, I don't know. I mean, maybe the wild card game in 2021 and 2018. Why? Because of Alex Cora. I think, you and I have talked about this a lot. Bruce Bochy, we talked about him with Texas and how advantageous it is to have that kind of guy in the dugout in these series in the postseason. This is why you pay Alex Cora what you're paying him to be the manager of the Boston Red Sox. It's to win in the postseason. He masterfully worked his way through 2018 to win a World Series championship with arguably, the greatest team that they've ever had. But at the same time, 2021, the same thing to get to the ALCS. He knows how to work a staff. He knows how to work a bullpen. He knows how to bring starters in. He knows how to bring kids in, when, and everything else, and then who to hit in the lineup and where and when to pinch hit. So I think that you're going to rely on Alex Cora a lot here, and he was there for 18 and there for 21. So I don't look at 03. I don't look at 04. I don't look at those matchups, Joe, as much as I do with Alex Cora in the dugout, 18 and 21. They had a real good chance, and they beat them. So I give them a good chance because I think Alex Cora is one of the best of the game, especially postseason baseball.
We talked a little bit about the Yankees offense. Obviously, the Sox will have to match up against Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, two power hitters that have been the best power hitters really in the sport in their time with the Yankees. Let's talk about the Red Sox offense here, though. They will be going up against two of the best starters in the American League in Max Fried and Carlos Rodon in this series. In Game 1, it's Fried. Game 2, it's Rodon. What do you think the key is for this Red Sox lineup that, even though they've swung it better recently, obviously still without Roman Anthony?
I think it's good at bats, right? That's what Alex will preach to these guys. Be patient. Wait your time. If they feel like they're getting, first pitch fastballs right down the middle, then go attack it. Let's just see what's going to happen with Fried and what's going to happen with Rodon. Try to get their pitch count up like any starting pitcher and then see what they can do from there. I think they have the advantage. If everybody's healthy and doing what they should do, I think the Red Sox have the advantage in the bullpen, Joe. So I think, again, if they can stay with Fried, stay with Rodon, with Crochet, with Bayo, with Giolito, then I think that they'll be in pretty good shape. Again, I come down to if it's going to be, tactical baseball in the latter innings with the bullpen and everything else, I give the edge to the Red Sox. The way the Yankees are going to beat you is if they jump out to a 6-0 lead because Judge and Ben Rice and Stanton and company are hitting the ball into the right field bleachers, then you got trouble. But I think if they can stay with them up until, the 6th or 7th innings, I think the Red Sox are the better team back in the back end of the bullpen, and they have a chance.
Yeah, that's the final thing I want to get you out on, Dan, is the bullpen element of it, because the Red Sox, they're second in bullpen ERA. The Yankees 23rd. It's obviously a new look bullpen for the Yankees because they have David Bednar, and he's been pretty good for them down the stretch. But how big does that factor into all of this, the bullpens for these two teams?
I think it's huge, and I think, again, we'll see what experience means. And, you look at a guy like Devin Williams, who has been up and down. He was really bad at stretches for this Yankees team. And then Bednar, he's unproven, coming from Pittsburgh as a closer. You have Aroldis Chapman, who's going to win any reliever of the year award that's up there because of just how great he's been. He's pitched here in Yankee Stadium. We know that. He has a history here. So I don't think he fears this at all. Then maybe it's a matter of how good is Whitlock, how good is Slayton, how good is Wilson, to set him up. So, but I think in the back end of the bullpen with Chapman, you're in pretty good shape when it comes to what you want to do with your bullpen versus the Yankees, who still, I don't care, 8-game winning streak coming in here or not, there's still question marks in the back end of that bullpen, especially when the postseason bell rings here, Joe.
Yeah, again, the Yankees, they are 25-8 over their last 33 games coming in. That's the best record in the American League going back to August 25th. But as we talked about, the Red Sox, they have the season edge against New York, having won 9 out of 13 games, and that bullpen edge, too. And Dan, I'm just thinking about it. If Aroldis Chapman closes out this series at Yankee Stadium, how much that will mess with Yankee fans' heads.
And let me end it, Joe. I think I'm ultimately positive. I do want to say that I think what's happened to this Red Sox team has been great for the future of this franchise. Without Anthony, without Meyer, they've been able to battle the final few weeks down the stretch, get into the postseason. Now they've got 2, maybe 3 games, maybe more of postseason experience for all of these guys as a group. So they come out of here, no matter how they do, ready for spring training next year with a healthy Anthony, a healthy Meyer, and who knows what they could do to boost the pitching in the off season. You got to feel good if you're a Red Sox fan about what's going on with this franchise, especially the second half of the season with Breslow, Cora, and company. So I think this, no matter what happens here, it's been a great experience for this Red Sox team together as a group.
I agree, Dan, and we'll see if this group can bring some games to Fenway Park. They obviously have to get to the next round to do so. Of course, Dan Roche has us covered all throughout the Wild Card Series at Yankee Stadium. You can catch his coverage on TV, CBS News Boston, WBZ, and TV 38 as well. Also online at WBZ.com and YouTube. Dan, thanks so much for the time. Your arms did some great work during this this segment, and I can't wait to see how buff you are when you come back.
Play ball.